combat gun violence in Decatur?
That's the number one question every city is having right now. I listen to Chicago WLS, I listen to KMOX. It's a problem everywhere. We have 2 gangs in this city. I wish I had the answer. I think our police department is doing a good job with what the resources they have to combat and get the leaders of these gangs. But the problem is, from what I understand, as they eliminate some of the gang members down here, more are coming in from Chicago. So this is a problem all over the country, and every city is trying to work to come up with solutions and I wish I had the answer. Again, education's important, but if young people don't finish school, then they are just real good that gang members want to have in their club, and they're going to go there. So again, education is so important, and as the mayor said, we work with the school districts and that. I mean, that's their responsibility, but the city has been very good working with all the different agencies in town for quite a few years, and it's getting better.
Well, I want to say that I think our Decatur Police Department does an excellent job. And I think it's really important to note that our crime as a percentage when compared to Springfield or Champaign is much lower. So I think it's a matter of perception. But I also think that we have learned that individuals don't know how to solve their issues with one another by sitting down. It's just so much easier, it seems, for them to solve their issues with the use of a gun, and that is extremely unfortunate. I also want to say I think it is the program that I referenced earlier with DPS 61 and teaching our youth how to make good decisions. And that, yeah, you might get mad, but let's sit down and talk about it. So it is really starting at a grade level and saying you can resolve your issues. You can have good jobs. We can find things that you enjoy. And so I think fighting crime again, like neighborhood revitalization, is just not one issue. It's many elements that have to come together and work together. I will share quickly that I had an experience last summer in a ride-along where 60 kids were misbehaving, beyond misbehaving, at the theater. And the officers, it took 6 cars to come, and when the officers corralled all of the kids, and that was a problem, when the parents showed up to pick up their children, they sometimes were worse than the children. So we have to work on this together. We have to also teach moms and dads how to be parents and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And we have resources here to assist families with those types of the help and the safety net that they might need.
Thank you.
One of the ways that Decatur Police are working to make our city safer is there is a special task force designed to target people who are believed to have illegal guns and to get those illegal guns off the streets. Nobody wants to take your legal weapons, but a lot of these crimes are being committed by people who shouldn't have guns in the first place. So that's one thing, and Chief Brandell will tell you we know who you are, and we're coming after you because we need our community to be safe. We need our citizens to feel safe. Sometimes the perception is worse than the reality, but we don't want to see anybody shot. The city has been investing a lot of money in the past year. Some of those dollars have come from the state. Carl referenced a program that the governor sent a bunch of money into communities with the highest gun violence across the state. And that money is already headed into many of our local programs that have proven to be very successful. Additionally, the city received a $1 million grant from Senator Turner to help us combat violence. So we will be investing in programs that are our local programs that are already up and running, as well as additional investment in flock cameras. A lot of times we have trouble solving crimes because people are afraid to come forward. They don't want to testify because they're afraid of retribution. You know what, those flock cameras, they're not afraid to testify. They've got video and they can help us solve crimes. So we are actively working, but we need more involvement from the public. We need more involvement from the churches. I met with the Ministerial Alliance about a week ago, and they're very, very invested in neighborhood revitalization and helping our kids succeed. So we've got to work together as a community, make our community safer, and to give children an alternative to a life of crime. Yes?
Thank you. Might have a different approach after 32 years in corrections, but one, we need to first be transparent and admit that we have a problem. If we never admit and talk about the problem will never get solved. So we need, like when I talk about accountability, that's where accountability comes in at. So we need to open up and have serious conversations about our gun problems we have in Decatur. Every city has it, but we got an indicator, and we need to talk about our problems in Decatur and how to solve it. Late John Lewis said, see something, say something. You see something, you say something. We need our community to report what they see. The quickest way to get a gangbanger or a gun problem or a drug problem out of the neighborhood is for the people in the neighborhoods to point them out to the police and say something. It works. It will work. I've seen it work before. It will work. You can run somebody out of your neighborhood, and you can run them out of Decatur. The other thing we need to do with our states, we have a state's attorney that handles crimes. Those that caught with guns or kill somebody with guns, in my opinion, there should be no plea deal. You need to hit them with a hard sentence and put them away. That's a deterrent to doing away with the guns. And then we need to come together and really talk about what can we do to change gun laws. I know it's red, white, blue, gray, but there's something that we can all agree on that can slow down the use of guns and save all our people from getting killed in our streets. We got to open up and talk about it. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate what the comments have been made here on the people at the table here, but I just want to say I think that we do have to approach the issues slightly different. You know, we can't keep approaching the same issue with the same ideals and the same mindset and not expect to get the same results. You know what I mean? Crime is a thoroughly researched topic. We understand what are the root causes of crime. We understand why it happens. And even though crime is found throughout the country in different communities, it's not found in every community. There's a reason, for instance, why Forsyth doesn't have to deal with a high degree of gun violence or a high degree of crime rates, things of that nature there. We, as a municipality, though can only do certain things, we have to set the tone, so to speak, and make the environment conducive for individuals to want to be productive members of society. So most of the individuals that are being referenced here are individuals that feels that they do not have any form of a pathway forward in our society, and they have not been afforded the opportunities necessary. And I'll admit, we have a lot of resources in our community, but as it's already been spoken to, there's a large disconnect. There's a reason why these services are not meeting where they need to go. And as a young man that's 14 years old, that's dealt with gun violence, that's dealt with abject poverty your entire life, that's dealt with feeling that you are left out of your society, your community, why would I break my back to go work at McDonald's? Why would I go break my back to do these things when I feel as if there's never going to be a true pathway forward to self-servancy and to being a contributing member of society? These are the things we have to look at. I spoke earlier, and I speak quickly, so I apologize, you guys. Time limits are not my best friend here. But I'm going to speak to some of the things I raised earlier. We have to really look at the root causes of crime. We can't keep trying to solve these things with Band-Aid solutions. Why a kid having a gun is a problem, but we need to look at why he has a gun at 14 years old in the first place. Whether that one that's his access to it, or why he has the drive to want to do it in the first place. Many of you guys know Reverend Courtney Carson's community. One of his favorite lines is, "Nothing stops a bullet like a job." And I wholeheartedly agree with that. If I have a $95,000 job I have a $95,000 job that I have to go to every single day. If I have a family I have to support, if I have a brand new home that I just moved into, I am obviously going to be much less inclined to do the things in which we're talking about here. So I'll expand.
Thank you.